Okay, so you're going to look at a question on partial derivatives. So you're going to say let z be equals to the square root of x squared plus y squared, then x be equals to u squared, y be equals to uv. Okay, of which my z I can also write it in this form. Okay, so now we have to show that our partial of z with respect to u is equals to 2u squared plus v squared divided by the square root of u squared plus v squared. So of course here we're using the chain rule. Okay, so we're going to say our partial of z with respect to u is simply equals to partial of z with respect to x multiplied by partial of x with respect to what? With respect to u, plus partial of z with respect to y multiplied by partial of y with respect to what? Respect to u there. Okay, so make sure to say as long as this is with respect to u, what we have here should be with respect to u, respect to u there. If you change and say maybe with respect to v here, you're going to get something different. So meaning you're going to have your partial of z with respect to u being equals to, so partial of z with respect to x, like you differentiate this with respect to x, you're going to end up with like we say partial of z with respect to x is going to be equals to, you're going to drop the power which is 1 over 2 multiplied by the derivative of what you have inside with respect to x, that will give you 2x multiplied by this, you reduce by 1, that's going to be x squared plus y squared minus 1 over 2 there, which just turns out to be x over x squared plus what? Y squared, of course. It's a square root like that. Hence, if you talk about partial of z with respect to x, I mean with respect to y, this is just going to be y over uh, x squared plus what? Plus y squared, like that. So I can come here and say I have my x over the square root of x squared plus what? Plus y squared. I multiply by partial of x, which this x here with respect to u, I'm going to get what? I'm going to get 2u. Okay, plus here I have y over the square root of x squared plus y squared multiplied by partial of y with this y here with respect to u, you're going to end up getting what? A v. Okay, because you're keeping your v as a constant. So when you differentiate u, when you're differentiating with respect to u, you're going to get a 1. So 1 by that v, which is a constant, just turns out to be v. So your partial of z with respect to u will be equals to, so this is just going to be 2xu plus yv divided by, because they have the common denominator there, which is the square root of what? X squared plus what? Y squared, like that. Okay, which we dearly use to our advantage. So now in this case, this turns out to be partial of z with respect to u will be equals to 2. Where there's x here, I'm going to substitute with what my x is here. Is that's going to be u squared. So u squared by u, giving me u to the power 3 plus. While there's y, I put uv. So this is going to be u multiplied by v squared, because I have, if you put uv here, that would be like u by v, that's basically uv squared. So this is divided by um, the square root of, where there's x here, you observe to say I can substitute with what? U squared, which is just going to be u to the power 4 plus, where there's y, I put what? To be u squared v squared, like that. Okay, this is coming out okay. So partial of z with respect to u is going to be equals to, so you observe to say you can factor out the u here, that would be your u 2u squared plus v squared here. Okay, divide by, so what you have here, in here you can also factor out the u, that's going to be a square root of, you're going to have a u squared is what is common, you're going to have a u squared plus v squared, like that. So you observe to say here, because of it's more like you have something like a square root of u squared multiplied by the square root of what? U squared plus what? V squared. This and this is simply means one and the same thing. And for this part, you observe that this goes and that goes. Hence, we can write this as what? We can write this as partial of z with respect to u is equals to, we remember to say we factored out a u here outside, that would be like a u 2u squared plus what? V squared, like that. Divide by what? We have this u that we have outside, multiplied by the square root of what? U squared plus what? V squared. So this goes and that goes, and this just turns out to be what? 2u squared plus v squared divided by square root of what? U squared plus what? V squared. This and that are the same, hence we have shown. And that's simply how you go about solving that question on partial derivatives. Thank you very much for watching.